Zach's Screen of the Week, an overview of a timely stock screening strategy aimed at helping you produce more profitable investing results. This week's screen is all relative because it's a relative price strength screen for all markets. It's one of those evergreen screens. Kevin Matras is our top screener here at Zach's, and he's put this together for us so you know that
it has to be brilliant.
Right. I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did too.
Nice.
So it seems appropriate enough, since nobody really knows which way the market's going to go right now. Is this what this is? One of these screens for any direction the market may head?
Yeah, it does seem that way. And that is the reason for this week's screen. Over the last few weeks, I have found myself finding, or at least searching for, stocks that have had the best relative price performance. Because I am trying to figure out, hey, which ones are the best stocks and which ones are the worst stocks. This is something that I have talked about in the past. And what I have said in the past is, if you were to look at your portfolio and you were to say which ones are your best stocks and your worst stocks, your best stocks are the ones that are moving up, and that is what this screen is talking about today.
I've heard you say in the past that stocks moving higher have a tendency to continue to move higher.
Right.
That's whatever travels in one direction has a tendency to keep traveling in the same direction.
It's true. You have to somehow overcome inertia, and these stocks have already done so. And the stocks that we are going to be focusing on today are stocks that indeed are moving higher, especially those companies that are moving higher on good volume. And that's the thing too. If the stocks are moving higher on good volume, they're likely moving higher for a reason. I mean, if they are, or if they weren't moving higher, obviously there's a reason for them to go lower. So if they are moving higher, there must be some good reason for them to do so. Otherwise, they wouldn't be.
Would make sense.
How's that for logic?
Unless, of course, they're not.
Right. They're moving higher because they're moving higher.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
But again, those are things you have to look at, because that is what helps you identify the stocks that are responding to their fundamentals and stocks that indeed are in favor.
Good point.
Of course, though, this does not mean that you should not look at growth. This doesn't mean you shouldn't look at different valuations. I mean, these things are very, very important. You have to make sure that your fundamentals indeed are in alignment. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to find stocks with any kind of lasting momentum, in my opinion. But again, looking at price performers, relative price performers, this will put a lot of interesting stocks on your screen, and you may find yourself picking stocks that just might have missed your normal fundamental screening strategies. But you may find too that when you do come up with these different performers, these are the kinds of stocks, exactly the kinds of stocks you've been looking for. Now again, though, we're talking about relative price performance. We're not talking about absolute price performance, because there are times where it seems as if all of the stocks are going down. And if you're only looking at absolute price performance, there's going to come a point in time where literally no stocks come through your radar screen just when you need them the most. Moreover, when it seems like everything is moving higher, oftentimes you'll see a lot of crummy stocks moving higher just because the tide is raising all ships. So by looking at the relative price change, you're certain to be able to find the pace setters, the outperformers, the ones that really are setting the stage for future movement.
And if you can't get any stocks to come through the screen, you can always screen for your relatives.
There you go.
Parameters. Let's get to those parameters.
All right. What we are doing today is we are, of course, looking for companies that are the winners in regard to relative price change. But again, as we said, we want to make sure that it has good fundamentals, so they are long-lasting, and so they do have the right stuff to be able to move higher. So let's look at it.
All right.
All right, first one is the relative percentage price change over the last 12 weeks. It has to be greater than 0. But we're also making sure that it has outperformed the market over the last 4 weeks, and it has outperformed the market over the last week as well. So again, we are making sure that it has outperformed the market on 3 different time periods, and I believe that's important. It really kind of helps you find stocks that are trending over a nice period of time. Also, too, we talked about fundamentals. We want to make sure that we're looking at companies with projected growth rates that are greater than the median for the S&P 500. So again, not only do I want to see stocks that are beating the market on price performance, I want to see stocks that are beating the market on fundamentals and growth rates. Also, too, all of these stocks are applied to companies with a Zacks rank of 1, only strong buys. Looking at companies that are trading over $5 has to have a certain price amount because when you're looking at institutions, for instance, they won't even touch a stock usually under $5. And then the average 20-day volume is over 100,000 shares. Want to make sure that there is enough activity so you can get in and out easily.
How many stocks came through?
I think there was about maybe 20 or so stocks. I've got 5 of them here. We've got Fuel Systems, International Rectifier, Sturm Ruger and Company, Wausau Paper, and Wintrust Financial. All of these companies have excellent fundamentals and they are outperforming the market. Excellent companies to consider.
Do you own any of those?
No.
Okay. So I always got to think about it, and it's beginning to worry me.
It's a big list.
If you want to see the other stocks that came through this week's screen, get over to Zacks.com's homepage and get to the text version of this week's Screen of the Week. It's the link that gets you there is the headline that's right next to Kevin's picture on the homepage. You click on it, and it'll take you to all of that information. And if you want to go to Zacks.com/research wizard, you can get all of the information on the tool that Kevin uses to achieve all of these screens. With Kevin Matras and the Screen of the Week, I'm Terry Ruffalo.